Hello Year 3, welcome back to PE. What we're going to focus on today is our jumping, okay? So we're going to need our bendy knees, okay, with us today. We're going to also need a spare pair of shoes for later on. But to start off, we're going to do some exercises to get ourselves ready for the jumping at the end, okay? So we're going to do a little bit of a competition to see how far we can actually jump. So to start off with, all we're going to do is just go down really low. You try and keep your heels on the floor to start with. And then we're going to have our bendy knees, okay? And then we're going to spring upwards. Okay, onto our tippy toes, bendy knees, okay? And spring upwards. Do it 5 times. And now we get our legs really pumped, ready to give us all the power that we need to jump as far as we can, okay? So one more time. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do is focus on one leg, the strength that we have in it, okay? So what we're going to do is, we start off with 2 legs on the floor, and we're going to jump forward, and we're going to land on one leg, okay? It is quite tricky, so make sure there's a safe environment around you, there's no big objects or anything that you can fall into. It's all about balance, control, and power, okay? So we're going to bend our knees, you can use your arms to swing forward, okay, see how far you can jump, but also control the movement and try not to move it down. So watching, we're going to jump onto one leg, it might be a bit wobbly, and then we have our bendy knee when we land, because we don't want our knees to get injured at all. And then we go back to our original position, bendy again, and we're going to jump onto our next one, okay? The opposite one, we're going to use our arms, swing, and we jump, and land, control. See how my foot hasn't touched the floor yet? And then when you're ready, we touch the floor and we go back again. Okay, so practice that, pause the video, give it a go, and then come back, and then hopefully we can move on to the next one. So the next activity we're gonna do, the next step, okay, is we have our shoes in front of us. Well, these aren't mine. They're a bit small for me. We're gonna start on one position with our legs bent, okay? All we want to do is see if we can jump over the shoes. So don't start with them too far away, because we're going to build up to see how far we can really jump. So same position, bendy knees, we can use our arms to propel ourselves forwards. Lots of bendy knees because we don't want to injure our knees at all. So watching Mr. Corduroy, and we jump over our shoes, bendy knees when we land, not straight knees, bendy knees. So now I've jumped, you can see the shoes are behind me. We pick one shoe up, we move it in front, so we remember where we started and where we ended. We then go back to the start, and we're going to try and go further than our other shoe. Ready? 3, 2, 1, jump! Bendy knees, really good impact there. See, I jumped a lot further than the first shoe. And then the second shoe, we're going to move it again. And then we're going to see if we can jump over this one. This one's going to be really tough. 3, 2, 1. Swing arms. Oh no! Okay, that's why we're going to practice landing before we jump too far, okay? So give it a try. Let's see how you get on. Good luck. See you soon. Stay safe.
Good afternoon, Year 3. Right, activity number 2 now. I hope those knees aren't too sore from all that jumping. When you come back to school, we are going to be focusing on a brand new sport to many of you called badminton. In this sport, you have a long racket that looks like this, and it's really light because you have to hit the shuttlecock, which is this, high over the net, and you smash it and all this, and we'll learn it when we get there. Now, before we come back, I was thinking it would be really good if you had a little go at improving your hand-eye coordination, which means that you can watch where something comes and move your hand in order to complete a task. For instance, if I was playing badminton, I'd have to watch where this is, watch where my racket is. What you didn't see is that went 4 streets over there. I'm going to have to walk and get that later. Goodness me. So that is the racket, okay? And we'll be looking at that more when you come back. So to substitute the racket, what I've got here is a hardback book or clipboard, which you will need to get. And you'll also need to get a ball or a special rolled up t-shirt or something whatever. You'll need to make sure that there's nothing around you and check with your parent, guardian, uncle, cousin, whoever's at home, if you can do this. So, first things first, we're going to do a few hand-eye coordination tasks before we go on to badminton style exercises. So, for this, you're going to need to lie on the floor, and you're going to need your ball or t-shirt. And what you're going to do is you're just going to practice throwing it up in the sky and catching it. Oh my goodness. This is much harder than it looks. So start small and work your way up to going bigger. Because it's a strange technique really, but we're not focusing on throwing, we're focusing on catching and that hand-eye coordination, looking up in the sky. Right, now you're going to do it. Sorry, something's gone in my eye. Whoa, careful that doesn't happen to you. Wear goggles. Now you're going to do it with your legs crossed, looking up at the sky and pushing it to the sky and seeing if you can catch it. Now I'm doing it quite high, you might want to do it smaller and just focus on that catching, that hand-eye coordination. Then you're going to do it, but this time with legs nice and wide. Easier now, always looking up. Then you're going to do it just so. Okay, next thing I'd like you to do. You're going to get the ball on your hands and you're going to hit them to each other. This is kind of symbolising the racket that we're going to use in just a moment. See how many you can do. Have a pause of the video and join us again. Right, you're back. Now, I've got my racket and I've got my ball. Bear with me on this one. I'm going to put the ball onto the book or the racket. And I'm just going to see if I can tap it to myself. This is why it's important to make sure you haven't got anything around you in case that happens and you get so lost in it. And see how many you can do. After you've done that, okay, I'd like to practice that hitting it and sending it miles away. So you're going to bring it back and you're not going to watch your racket. Okay, so what you can do first of all is just practice. Okay, when you play it, you don't need to watch the racket will do what your arm says. So watching your hand and just getting that muscle memory down your arm. When you're confident doing that, get your ball and you're just going to do little taps. Okay, chasing it wherever it goes, but making sure that you're hitting it. Because hitting it is the hard thing. If that becomes too easy, you can have a challenge by slightly throwing and then hitting and chasing wherever it goes. Again, make sure you've got lots of space for this, or it's very soft. And chasing wherever it goes. If you're fortunate to have anything like table tennis or anything like that, you can have a practice and that will really help you as well. But again, making sure you've got lots of space and that you're hitting it. Have a good try. See you soon.